INFJs love deeply. When they let someone into their heart, it's not just a feeling, it's a commitment. They give their time, energy, trust, and emotions fully. They listen, they care, and they believe in the people they love. But with that deep love comes deep risks. Betrayal hits the INFJ harder than most. Why? Because they don't let people in easily. It takes time for an INFJ to trust, to open up, to feel safe enough to love someone fully. So when that trust is broken, the impact goes straight to the heart. It doesn't just hurt, it changes them. Betrayal doesn't only break the relationship. It reshapes the way the INFJ sees love, trust, and even themselves. It changes how they move through future relationships. It makes them look at people and themselves through new eyes. This video is about what happens next. We're going to walk through 6 powerful ways betrayal changes the way an INFJ loves. These shifts aren't always visible. They happen quietly, over time. But once they happen, they stay. Some of these changes create distance. Others build strength. But all of them come from a place of pain and the need to protect a heart that once gave too much. Let's begin with the first way betrayal changes the INFJ. The creation of a deeper emotional guard that wasn't there before. Way number 1. Deepening emotional guard. Before betrayal, INFJs are open in their own quiet way. They might not share everything at once, but they do open up when they feel safe. When they trust someone, they allow that person to see parts of their inner world, parts they don't show to just anyone. They share their thoughts, their worries, their dreams, their love. But after betrayal, something changes. They stop opening so easily. The emotional door they used to keep unlocked now has a lock, and they hold the key. It doesn't mean they become cold. INFJs don't stop caring. But now they're careful. They think twice before letting someone close. They watch people's actions more than their words. They look for consistency, for proof, because they've learnt the hard way that not everyone who smiles is safe. Not everyone who says I love you means it. Not everyone who listens actually cares. So now they build a guard. This guard isn't loud. It's not made of anger. It's made of quiet distance. The INFJ can still be kind, still be friendly, but deep down they're watching, waiting, holding back. They no longer offer their full heart without knowing if it will be protected. They may appear the same on the outside, but on the inside, they're cautious. The warm energy they used to give so freely is now given slowly, in small steps. It's not about revenge. It's about survival. Betrayal taught them something no book could. Not everyone deserves full access to their emotions. And once that lesson is learned, it doesn't go away. Even when they meet someone new, that emotional guard stays in place, at least for a while. The INFJ doesn't want to shut people out. They just want to avoid another wound, another crack in their trust. And that's why love looks different now. They may ask more questions. They may take more time. They may seem distant at first. But it's not because they don't care. It's because they care too much, and they've been hurt before. This guard becomes part of how they love. They love slower, more carefully, with more observation and less assumption. They don't just trust what someone says. They trust what they do again and again over time. And even when they do love again, a part of them stays protected. It's a quiet voice that says, "Be careful, don't give it all away again." That voice isn't fear, it's experience. It's the memory of pain, and it lives just under the surface. The INFJ may wish they could go back to how they were before betrayal, more open, more free, but they know they can't. Because once trust is broken, something inside changes forever. Now, they keep that guard up not to keep love out, but to make sure the love they allow in is real. Way number 2, heightened intuition and vigilance. INFJs are intuitive by nature. They notice the small things others miss. A change in tone, a strange pause, a feeling that doesn't match the words. They don't always know why, but they know when something feels off. Before betrayal, they might have ignored those feelings. They might have told themselves, "I'm just overthinking," or "I'm being too sensitive." They gave people the benefit of the doubt, even when something inside said, "Something isn't right." But after betrayal, that changes. Now, they trust their intuition more. They don't push away their gut feelings. They listen. They pay attention. Because they've learned that quiet voice inside them was trying to protect them all along. Betrayal sharpens their senses. They become more alert. more aware of signs they used to overlook. They notice when someone avoids a topic, when someone's words don't match their actions, when something just feels wrong, and they don't brush it off. They watch. They wait. They test trust in small ways before giving it fully. They may not say anything, but they're always observing, always tracking how safe or unsafe or unsafe a person really is. This vigilance becomes part of how they love. It's not paranoia, it's protection. They're not looking to catch people doing something wrong. They're just making sure they're not walking into another emotional trap. Before betrayal, the INFJ gave trust easily and doubted themselves. After betrayal, they trust themselves first and let others earn their trust slowly. It's a shift in power. Now, their intuition is a tool, not a burden. It guides their choices. It helps them avoid danger. And most importantly, it reminds them that their feelings are valid. They no longer silence their inner warnings just to keep the peace. Because peace that ignores truth is not real peace, it's just delay. Betrayal taught them to listen to the signs, and now they do. Way number 3, reluctance to fully trust again. Trust doesn't come easy to an INFJ, even before betrayal. They take their time getting to know people. They look for sincerity, patience, and emotional safety. But once they trust, they give it all. They believe deeply. They love without holding back. That's what makes betrayal so painful, because when that trust is broken, it cuts deep, not just because of what happened, but because of what it meant. The INFJ trusted someone fully. They opened their heart, and it wasn't enough to stop the damage. After betrayal, something changes. The INFJ doesn't stop wanting connection, but now the trust doesn't come like it used to. It's not about bitterness. It's about fear. Not fear of others, but fear of what they might lose if they trust the wrong person again. They remember how it felt to be hurt, to give love and have it used, to open up and be left behind. That memory doesn't go away. It stays close, like a warning. So they protect themselves. They hold back, even when they want to open up. They question people's motives, even when there's no proof of danger. They pause before sharing, even when the moment feels safe. They want to believe again, but they hesitate. And sometimes this creates conflict inside them. The INFJ still has a big heart. They still feel deeply. But now there's a filter, a wall, a voice that says, "Be careful." This can confuse the people who try to love them. They see the INFJ's depth, but also feel the distance. It's not rejection, it's protection. The INFJ wants to love fully again, but they know what it costs when they love the wrong person. So they become more careful. They take longer to trust. They ask more questions. They need to see consistency, not just at the start, but over time. They need to know that this person sees them, values them, and won't use their heart against them. And if that doesn't happen, they stay guarded. Some may call it emotional distance. But for the INFJ, it's healing. It's safety. It's making sure the past doesn't repeat itself. Over time, they may learn to trust again. But it will never look the same. The innocence is gone. What remains is a wiser love. A love that knows what it takes to stay strong when trust is tested. That love is still real, still deep, but now it comes with protection. Way number 4, re-evaluation of personal boundaries. Before betrayal, INFJs often struggle with boundaries. They want to help. They want to be kind. They don't like saying no. They try to see the best in people and give second chances, even third, fourth, and fifth chances. They give too much. But after betrayal, something clicks. They realize how much they gave away. Their time, their energy, their trust, and how little they received in return. They start to see where they allowed someone to cross lines they didn't even know they had. Now, they start to draw those lines clearly. It begins with simple decisions. Saying no without guilt. Walking away when something feels wrong. Not answering texts that drain them. Choosing peace over proving a point. They begin to put themselves first. And it's not selfish, it's necessary. They realize that loving someone doesn't mean losing yourself. That being kind doesn't mean being a doormat. That giving too much without limits only leads to pain. So they protect their space. They're still warm, still caring. But now, there's a structure. They know what they will and won't accept. They know what they need to feel safe. They know what respect looks like, and they won't settle for less. People around them notice the change. Some respect it, others push back. But the INFJ doesn't bend the way they used to. They have learned that boundaries aren't walls to keep love out. They're gates that protect what's sacred inside. And the most sacred thing is their peace. Now, before letting someone in, the INFJ asks, will this person honor my boundaries? If the answer is no, the door stays closed. That's how betrayal teaches them to protect themselves. Not with anger, but with clarity. Way number 5, transformation of love, expression. Before betrayal, INFJs love with full emotion. They write long messages. They plan thoughtful surprises. They show up for people again and again. Their love is quiet but powerful. They don't just say, I love you, they prove it. But after betrayal, that changes. Not because they stop loving, but because they start being more careful about how they show it. Now their love feels more guarded, more selective, more reserved. They might still write those long messages, but only when they truly trust the person. They might still offer support, but only if it doesn't cost them their own peace. They still have love to give, but now it's filtered through a new lens. Is this safe? Is this mutual? Is this real? They become slower to open up, slower to share, slower to let their emotions show. Their love becomes quieter, but not weaker. It becomes more intentional. They don't love to fix anymore. They don't love to prove anything. They love in a way that honors who they are. And if they don't feel emotionally safe, they hold back. This isn't fear, it's wisdom. They know what it felt like to give everything and be betrayed. And they're not going to repeat that. So they give slowly, carefully, truthfully. Their love is still deep, but now it's protected. And the people who receive it, they'll feel its strength. Because the INFJ doesn't love half-heartedly. They love fully. Once they know it's safe, Wate. Way number 6. Emergence of a more resilient self. INFJ are not just emotional. They are strong in quiet, steady ways. Even when they are hurt, they don't give up easily. Even when they feel broken, they keep going. But betrayal tests that strength in a deep, personal way. It shakes their trust. It changes how they love. It makes them question what they believed about people and about themselves. But it also sparks something powerful. Over time, something starts to grow inside them. A new version of strength, a deeper kind of resilience. It doesn't happen overnight. At first, there's pain, sadness, doubt. They may feel like they failed, like they should have seen it coming, like they let themselves be fooled. But after the hurt begins to heal, the learning begins. They realize what they missed. They see how they ignored their gut feelings. They understand where they gave too much without protecting their own heart. And instead of just feeling regret, they decide to grow. They become more self-aware. They start listening to their intuition again. They honor their limits. They stop giving energy to people who drain them. They stop trying to love others more than they love themselves. This is where the new INFJ starts to form. They're still kind, but now their kindness includes themselves. They're still loving, but now that love is rooted in truth. They're still open, but only to those who show respect and care. They have learned that love without respect is not love. That trust must be earned. That protecting your heart doesn't mean you're closed. It means you've learned your worth. This new INFJ doesn't rush to fix people. They don't chase after broken promises. They don't let apologies erase patterns. They move with clarity, not confusion. They carry the lessons of betrayal like armor, not to stay guarded, but to stay safe. This resilience changes how they walk through the world. They don't trust less, they trust smarter. They don't love less, they love wiser. They don't feel less, they just choose more carefully who deserves their time, energy, and heart. They have learned that being soft and strong can exist in the same person. And they've become both. This new version of themselves may surprise others. People who once took advantage may no longer recognize them. People who once expected them to stay silent may now hear them speak up. And the INFJ won't apologize for it. Because betrayal didn't destroy them, it transformed them. And the person who rises after that pain is someone who knows what love really means and who they really are. Betrayal leaves a mark on everyone. But for the INFJ, that mark goes deeper. Because they don't just feel the pain, they carry it in their soul. They replay what happened. They question why it happened. And slowly they rebuild. But they don't rebuild the same. They change. They shift. They grow. We've walked through 6 powerful ways. Betrayal changes the way an INFJ loves. They build emotional guards, sharpen their intuition, struggle to trust, set better boundaries, express love more carefully, and become more resilient. These changes don't make them colder. They make them stronger, wiser, clearer. The love they give after betrayal is different. It's not softer, but it's more true. It comes from a place of strength, not fear. It comes from knowing that real love doesn't ask you to sacrifice your peace. If you're an INFJ who's been hurt, know this. The way you love may change, but your heart is still whole. You're not broken. You're learning. You're healing. You're becoming someone who can love deeply without losing yourself. That's not weakness. That's power. So take your time, trust your path, and remember, the pain may shape you, but it does not define you. You are still capable of deep love, but now you love with wisdom, and that's something no one can take from you.